State of the franchise for the Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns finished up the regular season with a 11-5 record. They went to the playoffs. They pulled off an upset against the Pittsburgh Steelers during the wild card round. Then they had a really competitive game against Kansas City in the division round. Even though they lost the game, they were really competitive. And remind you, a lot of people didn't even think that that game was going to be all that close. And if it wasn't for the Rashard Higgins end zone fumble that got called back for a touchback, I believe that Cleveland probably would have won that game, which may sound crazy, but listen, I have a lot of confidence and I have a lot of faith in this Cleveland Browns organization and the success that they're going to have over the next 4 to 5 years. And I was just saying this in my Baltimore Ravens State of the Franchise video. If you guys haven't seen that, make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out. But I was saying that the AFC North is returning back to being the best division in the NFL. Remember, at the start of the 2010s, you had the Cincinnati Bengals, you had the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you had the Baltimore Ravens, who all three of those teams were consistently making it to the playoffs year in and year out. The AFC North has returned to reclaim their throne as the best and the most competitive division in the NFL, because over the next 4 or 5 years, I mean, you don't really know who is going to win the division every single year. Like, every single year, it could change. It could be Pittsburgh one year. It could be Baltimore the next year. It could be Cleveland. We don't know what's going to happen with Cincinnati. I still need to see more out of Zach Taylor before I put them in this conversation. But, I mean, this division is really competitive. Now, when you look at Cleveland this year, Cleveland was always a rock-solid team. Like, me personally, before the season began, I said that the Cleveland Browns were going to make it to the playoffs, and I got a lot of criticism because of that. Because last year in 2019, under Freddie Kitchens as their head coach, I said that they were going to make it to the playoffs that year, and they ended up missing the playoffs. But this year, I had a lot of confidence in Kevin Stefanski being able to get this team to the playoffs, because this team has a lot of talent. Like I said before the season began, this team is way too talented to not make it to the playoffs. And my record prediction for Cleveland was either 9 or 11 wins, and they lived up to my level of expectations. When you look at the acquisitions that they made in the offseason, they drafted Jedrick Willis. He was pretty solid his rookie season this year. You bring in Jack Conklin. He was good as advertised. This offensive line was good as expected. Then you had the run game going with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was what? He missed a couple of games, still came back and was top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL. You got Kareem Hunt, who is good as advertised. Then you got Jarvis Landry. I really want to see what's going to happen with Odell Beckham. Are they going to keep Odell Beckham, or are they going to trade Odell Beckham? Now, according to reports, the Cleveland Browns don't really have any interest in trading away Odell Beckham. And as a matter of fact, if I recall, I was reading one article that said that Odell Beckham was a big part in the culture change that has now taken place in Cleveland. So everybody tries to point out Odell Beckham as like a locker room cancer and things like that. And I know people are still going to try to do that, because you look at the success that Cleveland had when Odell Beckham was off the field due to his season-ending injury. But when he was on the field, I mean, Odell Beckham was on pace to put up some of the best numbers that he has had in a very long time this season before his injury. So I would really like to see Odell Beckham back in Cleveland. I really hope that the Cleveland Browns do not trade Odell Beckham. Now, another question at hand is going to be Baker Mayfield. Now, I've had a lot of my friends, I was just going back and forth with my college suite mate or dorm mate a couple of days ago about Baker Mayfield, because he was trying to say Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. He's overrated. I don't think Baker Mayfield is overrated. Like, we knew what Baker Mayfield was when he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, #1 overall a couple of years ago. We knew that Baker Mayfield, if you gave Baker Mayfield the keys to Lamborghini, or if you gave Baker Mayfield a Ferrari, he could take you to the destination that you need to go. And I've been telling people this. I said, listen, if you give Baker Mayfield a good offensive line, you give him a run game, you give him a good group of wide receivers, he's going to win you games. And that's what Baker Mayfield did this year. Now, you had a lot of people on the big networks who were talking down on Baker Mayfield's stat, the Houston Texans game, the Las Vegas Raiders games. Like, they just look at his stats and they say, oh, he's not that great. Look at his stats. But I don't know if any of those guys even watched the game, which I'm pretty sure they did. didn't, because if they watched the game, they would knew that he was playing in what, like 40-mile-per-hour winds and bad weather. So, I mean, who is going to have incredible stats in those kind of weather conditions? I just think a lot of people like to hate on Baker Mayfield just because of the guy who he was known for. Nobody likes to root for the hot-headed, cocky, egotistical quarterback, but there are a lot of quarterbacks who have really big egos, who are really confident and cocky in themselves. So, me personally, I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. My biggest question about the Browns was going to be, was Baker Mayfield going to bounce back? Because he had a sophomore slump last year. And in all honesty, Baker Mayfield most definitely should be a finalist for NFL Comeback Player of the Year, because Comeback Player of the Year doesn't just go to the player that is coming off a season-ending injury like Ben Roethlisberger and Alex Smith are. It also is awarded to the player that is coming back from a disappointing season, which Baker Mayfield had last year back in 2019. So you look at the Cleveland Browns, man, like, I am really excited to watch what is going to be next for the Cleveland Browns. My question is going to be, are they going to be able to maintain this level of consistency? Now, on top of that, you also got to remember that they had a couple of big injuries on the defense side of football, specifically in the secondary before the season even kicked off. You had Greedy Williams, who had a big injury. You had Grant Delpit, who had a season-ending injury before the season even kicked off. So there are a lot of parts of this Cleveland Browns team that we have yet to see, because I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to be a Super Bowl contender next season. And that may sound crazy, but I mean, I have a lot of confidence in that bold claim that I just made, because the Cleveland Browns defense wasn't even fully healthy. Imagine what's going to happen when they get all the guys back in the secondary, when they have Grant Delpit playing, when they have Greedy Williams on the opposite side of Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward also battled with a lot of injuries pretty much the whole entire season. So when this Cleveland Browns defense gets back fully healthy and they're able to add a couple more pieces, like another pass rusher to pair it with Myles Garrett, depending on what they want to do with Olivier Vernon, what's going to happen with the linebacker position? Are they going to address the linebacker position in the upcoming NFL draft? So for the Cleveland Browns, if you are a Browns fan, like, the future looks bright. Kevin Stefanski should win Coach of the Year. Now, they may not give it to him because of Ron Rivera, which I understand. Ron Rivera battling cancer, having to beat cancer. I understand that. And nobody expected Washington to even be able to not only win the division, but make it to the playoffs. So I can understand if they gave it to Ron Rivera. I can understand they gave it to Kevin Stefanski. But you do have to give Kevin Stefanski props for the job that he's done in Cleveland. And the question was going to be, how was he going to be able to manage the personalities in the locker room? Because with Freddie Kitchens, there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of questions about who was the alpha dog on the team. Who team was it? Was it Odell Beckham's? Was it Jarvis Landry's? Was it Baker Mayfield? Didn't really have any of those issues. You didn't have any stories come out this year about any locker room problems with the Cleveland Browns. You didn't have any stories about anything dysfunctional going on in the organization. Like, this is the start of a new era in Cleveland. A lot of you Browns fans have been waiting your whole entire lives to see this team finally have some success. And now your loyalty and your dedication is finally paying off, because now the Cleveland Browns are finally paying you back, paid in full, because now this franchise is most definitely on the track to becoming, a powerhouse. And I know it sounds crazy to say, because before the season began, like, everybody was saying, oh, JT, the Browns aren't going to make it to the playoffs because it's the Browns. And I've been telling people this. I said, do not judge a team based off their past. Judge a team based on what is in front of you right now. And a lot of people think too much into it. Like, if a team has talent and they have a good coach, they're going to make it to the playoffs 9 out of 10 times. Because if you have a good coach, that's how you win games. You don't win games based on just pure talent in the NFL. You win games in the NFL because of good coaching. If you don't have a good coach and you have a great team, you're going to miss the playoffs, i.e., the Cleveland Browns last year under Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens wasn't a good coach. I was trying to tell people that. I said the problem with the Browns last year wasn't just the team. Like, the team was good. The problem was the coaching. Now you guys see how much having a good coach matters in the NFL. If you have a good coach in the NFL, you're going to win games. Coaching matters, not players. Well, let me take that back. Coaching matters more than having just this all-star caliber football team. Like, you can have an all-star caliber football team and still not be good because of bad coaching. Bad coaching can limit the potential and limit the ceiling of a team. So you bring in Kevin Stefanski, he takes you to the playoffs in year one. So I'm really excited about the next stage in Cleveland. It looks like a new era for Cleveland Browns football. Really excited to watch the Browns for over the next couple of years. Last question is going to be Baker Mayfield. Should the Browns extend him? Should the Browns not? I think that he does deserve a contract extension. Let me know what you guys think, because I think Baker Mayfield played a lot better than what a lot of people are giving him credit for. Like, a lot of people think Baker Mayfield is overrated, but like I said, if you give Baker Mayfield the keys to the Lamborghini or the keys to the Lambo truck, he's going to take you to where you need to go, and that's what the Cleveland Browns have done. They have surrounded Baker Mayfield with a good supporting cast, a good off the line, a run game, a great group of wide receivers, a good head coach. Baker Mayfield has everything that he needs to be successful in Cleveland. So if you are the Cleveland Browns, I say give him an extension. So let me know what you guys think about the state of the Cleveland Browns franchise down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.